PKN, episode 300. Woohoo!
And of course, for episode 300, I was blinded today.
For the memes.
For the memes.
So what happened, Kyle?
It was not worth it. I got a little eye surgery today. I had this little mole on my eyelid, but it was like right on the edge of the eyelid, like the part, like it's almost going to touch my eyeball. And I didn't like the way it looked.
Is it?
It was like hanging down on the underside?
I picture it where the eyelash grows from. Does that sound right?
Eyelashes were growing through it. Yeah.
Okay.
Gross. Ew.
Good thing you got that taken exactly.
You said it was a mole?
Yeah. And it's been there like maybe a year. Like it's a very new mole.
That was what I was
That's when you want to get it taken care of. You don't want to let those fuckers, malinger.
And I did not like it. It was very ugly. And my dad had even, like, last time I hugged him, he was like,
really?
What is that?
Your own father?
I never saw it on
son,
camera.
You know I love you, but that's pretty fucking gross.
I know you can't see it on. I watch you 5 hours a week at least.
Yeah, well, good.
I've never noticed either. Yeah, I've never seen it.
Dad was like, what is that? You're a good looking boy. You need to get that fixed. Fuck.
Is that what inspired you to get something taken care of? Or
no, I've been wanting to get it taken care of because like when he said that was months ago.
Mm-hmm.
But like the other day I went to the doctor and I got that other mole I showed you removed. That one didn't hurt a bit. And while I was there, I was like, hey, I'd like to get this taken care of too. And he's like puts the big like magnifying glass on it, like from the movies, and he's like, you need a plastic surgeon and an optometrist. You need a optomoplastic surgeon. And I was just like, well, do those exist? He's like, yes, I know the best one in the state. And I was like, all right, well, send me to him.
Man, he sounds sinister talking about it.
He's just got emphysema. He's a nice guy though. And he's like, yeah, here's his card. And he put the oxygen back on so he could breathe.
I'll give you a good price. He's opening up his coat to show you.
More smoke. We're smoking in the doctor's office. Unusual kind of practice, but
wait,
that's pretty cool.
Is that part of the story real?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
And so today we went, I went. I had already gone to like a pre-op thing and and a bunch of other stuff where he like looked at it and he was like, oh yeah, this is not cancer because there's eyelashes growing through it. And I'm like, well, that's good. Nobody wants eyeball cancer.
Mm-mm.
That's a criteria. If hair grows through it, it's not cancer.
Yeah, that's according to him. Because it was all right. So don't think of it as like a mole with hair in it.
Then my whole body's safe.
Oh God!
My asshole cancer free.
He says while swinging from tree to tree.
Yeah. Armpits, asshole, face, eyebrows. It's solid.
I'm invincible. They're studying me. So
well, I'm glad it was benign, right? Or they don't know yet.
Well, they're gonna test it and we'll know. But because the eyelashes were like going through it, I think it was fine. So I went in this morning. And I was super late to the thing. Like I forgot what time it was. I couldn't remember when the surgery was. And my sleep schedule's a little messed up right now because I'm watching.
What time the surgery was?
Yeah,
that's not a thing you're supposed to get wrong.
I'm a responsible adult. And so I was up till about 4:30 a.m. watching The Wire because I've only seen it 8 times. And
I'm watching The Wire now too.
Ah, cool. I'm halfway through season 1 or so. And so I was just like, I want to see what McNulty does in the next episode. Let's just go and stay up. What's the worst that could happen? The surgery's probably at noon. I can sleep till 11:30.
Right, because that's when surgeries
You were guesstimating your surgery time?
I was guesstimating my surgery,
right.
Yes.
Those guys don't start at 6
I'm
a.m.
not the one who needs this steady hands tomorrow. He is. Now, if he's up all night watching The Wire having a few, then we've got problems.
You don't want to be the guy he operates on 6 hours into his day.
No. What?
I want him to be. I want to be second in line.
That's a good
I want him
place.
to work out
like
any
that.
kind of kinks on the early morning guy, and then he's feeling fresh. The coffee's hit him. He works on me. And
Right.
that's after me is when he starts to get.
It's funny you mentioned that. I kind of did a thing on the way out. Anyway, so on the way in, I call at 8 a.m. and I'm like, hey, I have surgery today. What time is that again? She's like, now. I'm like, fuck. Well, I'll be right there. And so I just jump out of bed and like use mouthwash, brush my hair a little, throw on a shirt, and just go.
How far away is the surgery center?
Really close.
Oh,
like 10 minutes away. Like
so you're doing that like I'm pulling in. Like
she's like, how? She's like, are you on the way? And I went, yes. Like clearly lying. Yes.
what's that? I mean, yeah.
So I get there and everything, and I was only like 6 minutes late or something like that. and they're like, what you know, they're like prepping me for the thing, me and this nurse. And she's like, here's your Valium. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe they're gonna operate on my eye. And my anesthesia is a fucking Valium. Valium is like
How
a
strong is that?
benzodiazepam. It's like a mood stabilizer. It's a relaxing kind of drug. It'll chill you out. It's a
Okay.
little similar to the feeling that weed could give you, but I'd much rather have
But it's
weed.
like it's not very strong on the list of benzos. Like Klonopin's more powerful than that, right? Like Valium's kind of low.
I've had Klonopins,
tier.
and I'll say this: the Klonopins that I've taken before were teeny tiny, like literally.
Yeah, I guess it's all a dosage thing.
They were literally like if you broke off your pencil lead, they were that big, like little pellets almost. I'd be like, ooh, I have two. This was like a full-size tablet that I took this morning of Valium. But again, it's Valium. This is doing nothing for pain. This is just relaxing me with the idea that they're about to carve my fucking eye up. So they hooked me up with the fucking monitors and everything like that, and she starts putting in numbing eye drops for my eyeball. But again, these are just for my eyeball. This is doing nothing for where they're going to operate on.
Right.
Finally I get wheeled back into the operating room with like one of those goofy like head hair nets on and everything. And it was at that point when I realized just how serious this was, because there were like 6 people in the operating room, and it was like an operating room from TV with the giant overhead light that comes down.
And you're like, I was asleep 11 minutes ago.
Yeah. Yeah. I haven't had coffee. I haven't shit yet.
It's an awful way to wake up.
Yeah. Yeah. I
So you haven't had a lot of surgeries in your life, it seems.
No, I've been very fortunate. I've had I did the thing with my nose. Had a severely broken nose, had that fixed. And then I like carved my head up when I was like 4, and I barely remember that. So that was those were both general anesthesia type situations. This is not. So
local anesthesia, like a little injection.
Little my ass. They've leaned my fucking head back, and the first thing he does is put a Q-tip in my eyeball and roll my eyelid backwards so it can get a good look at it.
Oh no.
And I don't like putting if I get a hair in my eye, I don't like the idea of using a Q-tip to get that. I usually just like rinse it with saline solution or something. Yeah, I've got one of those big bottles of like Just Tears. There's like eye drops all over my house. Like
use a Q-tip to turn like those weird kids in grade school who would flip their eyelids up like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And use the Q-tip. I feel like you get little bits of cotton in your fucking eye.
At this point, all you have is the Valium at this point?
Yeah.
And the eye drops.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he's like, just look straight down. So I'm looking straight down with this eye, and this eye is just like fluttering, trying to stay closed. And he rolls my eyelid back, and I'm just like, ah, ah, ah. I don't know if you've ever seen Fire in the Sky, but it's that scene.
Okay.
And then he
you actually audibly make a noise like,
no, I'm not a bitch. And so
well,
then
I don't want anything in my eye.
I save my bitchness for my inner monologue.
Yeah, I saved that for here. And so he says,
just man there. Don't do it. You want him to think you're cool.
I do want him to think I'm
laughing
cool.
at that bitch boy.
Well, the glasses look good. You should have worn them.
I don't want to.
Did you see how that guy didn't like make any noise at all? He's kind of cute.
The nurse was hitting on me the whole time. She's like, "Did I see you yesterday at the haircut place?" I'm like, "Yes, you did." She's like, "You did a good job, huh?" I was like, yeah, they did. How long did you have to wait? We had a whole conversation. She's got a 4-year-old kid though. She's rotten. So
gross.
Disgusting.
So he rolls my fucking eyelid back, and I'm like, and he's like, all right, little pinch. And I'm like, okay, good.
Okay.
This is the part that fixes everything. Last time a doctor said little pinch, he was injecting me to take that other mole off my side. And it was a little pinch. I didn't react. I was just like, that is literally a little pinch. And he gives me another little pinch that doesn't even hurt as much. And it didn't hurt at all. This guy sticks a goddamn needle in my eyelid, in my fucking eyelid. And it feels like there's murder hornets attacking my eyelid. And I went, ooh, that really hurts, huh?
Yes.
I said that out loud, and my toes are curled up into fists, and my hands, which were like crossed on my lap, are doing this, but I don't move because the man is sticking a needle into my eyelid, and I went, whew.
How big does a needle look when it's coming this angle?
I'm looking straight down, but it's funny you mentioned that because I was afraid. Like one of the things I was nervous about was like, are they gonna do that thing that like opens your eye up so that your eye is just like looking around?
Oh, Clockwork Orange, yeah,
like Clockwork Orange, and and see the fucking needle coming in. Maybe the needle's mounted to something like a bot, and it's just like.
I'm always whenever the doctor,
whoa, working the kinks out here.
When the doctor says look down, I consider that instruction to be incredibly important, but difficult to follow. My fear is they're going to be like, what, you looked up right while I was touching your eyeball with the scalpel? This is really your fault.
Have you seen those surgeries where like they use an Xbox controller? I've thought about how funny it would be if like as you're getting knocked out and he's got like the thing, you just hear him like, always was a PlayStation guy. just out.
Well, I looked down with the best of them because I would only occasionally see a glimmer of light, despite the fact that there's a huge one shining on my head.
Mm-hmm.
And the second shot I thought was going to hurt a lot less than the first one. Wrong.
No
the
dice.
Second shot hurt just as fucking much, and I'm pretty good with pain, but this was awful. And I was just, he was like, all right, there we go. And I went, that really hurt. He's like, how much? And I was like, how people, they'll ask like, how bad your back? And they'll be like 11 out of 10. He's like, yeah. I was like, that's nonsense. 10 is when you're being skinned alive in boiling acid. That was a 6. He's like, Jesus.
Had enough for another couple of Valium, Doc. Yeah.
That's the game you gotta play.
So he starts. So he's like, "All right, I'm gonna trim your eyelids now, or your eyelashes now." So I snip, 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 snip. I hear the snippers going,
but it doesn't hurt. The needle's that did its job.
Bit.
This job.
Well, these were eyelids or eyelashes.
Yeah.
All right. I'm glad I asked. I misunderstood. Okay.
Yeah, I don't have any feeling in those, unfortunately. and so snip, 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 and then I hear, and I smell burning flesh, burning flesh, and I'm like, ah. He already cut it off, and I couldn't even tell. And sure enough, he had the whole thing cut off and cauterized and done in less than, I don't know.
Did he let you keep it?
Fuck no. They sent it off in a biohazard bag somewhere.
I know.
Dude, the burning flesh is it. So when we had Hope, we had her. Hope was breech birth, so she was all in the wrong direction. She was gigantic, 9 pounds 9 ounces. Woo! So we knew that she was a scheduled C-section. There was no chance it was going to be a.
Does that mean feet first? Just
breech can mean a lot of different things, but it means not head
more of
first.
A cannonball.
Yeah, in her case, she was sideways. Hope was, which is like I guess belly the worst flop. Kind of breech. So it was regular vaginal birth was not on the radar. So lucky I'm like you. Outside. I'm sorry.
Lucky you.
Yeah, I'm told. I don't know. I've never had sex with someone who had a vaginal birth before. But anyway, I'm outside and they're doing the thing and they're gonna like bring me in for the delivery. Mm-hmm. I walk in the OR and this is my first kid. Holy fuck. It is this serious situation. There's like 9 people involved between all the nurses and the doctors and the anesthesiologists and shit like that. It smells big time of burning flesh. And that was the part I was least prepared for. Like, no one told me what a fucking circus this was going to be. And I stood up and watched the baby come out of her belly, which is not where babies come from. And that whole, I was like I'm wondering what the other shit I'm looking at is. Like, is that a kidney, an intestine? Like, I don't really know. But there's a whole lot going on.
This was the time to ask.
Even like 5% of you or like 1% of you, like, this is kind of interesting.
No. So a lot of, at least on TV, a lot of men pass out when they see the baby born. And I was worried that I was going to be one of those guys. I was like, breathe, Woody. Keep it together. Don't fall. I was worried I was going to hit my head on the tile floor. Like, these were the thoughts that I had running through my head they gave Jackie this disgusting lizard that she just birthed, and I thought, like, yeah, Dad'd get this cool because they clean him up and give him to Dad afterwards, but Mom gets the little lizard version of it. And anyway, yeah, and I've said this part before, but I had a real concern that our baby would be switched at birth. I thought that, like, I don't know, for months leading up to it, I was like, how would I even know, right? I'm a non-dad, so I'm worried that like what is the system they use? All babies look the same to me, right? I'm at an age, and probably Taylor is now too, like a lot of people in his world are having babies and stuff, and every baby picture you see is just the same as the one before it, right? They all look like babies to me. And I'm like, you could switch my baby and I wouldn't know. I would have no idea because all babies look the same. Hope is born. I swear to God, she looks like the heat miser from that Christmas cartoon with this like big spike thing of red. I was like, this is
that's why so many Hispanic parents pierce their newborn's ears for identification.
It's true.
Is that true?
No.
Oh
No.
yeah. So
No.
it's not true. All right, I'll believe anything. But yeah, I was so happy when she looked like the heat miser the day she was born, because like later on, like there's a you've seen what do they call the place where they put all the newborn babies, like NICU or something, or
Incubator.
Yeah.
Yeah, but okay.
NICU,
There's a room
right.
filled with incubators, right? That's the room I'm trying to refer
Hatchery.
to. Pediatrics hatchery.
Hatchery.
And anyway, her in this like sea of 16 babies, and I'm like, totally, that one's mine. Like, there's no way you could switch them. She's mine.
Yeah.
That's good to hear, because I've thought about that too. Where, what was it, like a flashback in a Simpsons episode where he's like, Marge, she's so beautiful, and it's like, that's not even their baby. They like throw him down and go grab a different one. Yeah,
It's funny you mentioned that. They came around with a Sharpie and marked the correct side of my head to operate on. I was just like, how could you fuck it up?
No.
And it was a serious thing because the nurse did it, and then the doctor came out and he's like, there was already this little dot the nurse made, and he's like, let's make goddamn sure, and made like a bigger squiggle above it.
Yeah.
Just to be, and I'm just like, what would they have done if they got the wrong eye? Like, well, I don't see anything, but I'm gonna cut anyway.
When
I'm Johnny Knoxville, and this has changed the marker on Steve-O's side.
you hear like
Steve-O, they removed your left kidney.
everyone's
guys, that's a good joke, dude.
everyone's
I'm gonna throw up.
Every once in a blue moon, you hear about these surgery mistakes, right? And then, so when I got my ACL fixed, I wrote good knee and bad knee on my two thighs. And then they came in and they had their own marking system, like the X and whatnot. But I didn't want any mistakes. And I talked to the doctor. I was like, is it insulting? Like if a patient comes in and says like, do not touch on their good knee. And the doctors are like, no, it doesn't bother us at all. Go ahead, mark yourself up. They find it just one more confirmation they're getting it right.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. Yeah. Operate on this nose. Kyle, you're talking about how, or I guess Woody and I were saying, we never noticed anything on your eyelid at all, not even the tiniest little bit.
Right.
And it reminded me, like, with this upcoming PKA trip we're all going to take, whenever that happens to be with this COVID thing, like, we haven't seen each other, the three of us, in person in so long. It's going to be like HD porn where we're like, oh, I thought I've been hanging out with way more attractive this whole time. Good Lord, it's just a blemish factory around here.
I sent you a list of moisturizers. You just ignoring it.
I'm using Mederma. I use Mederma on. I got some stretch marks under my arms that I'm and like
I got
here that I'm putting on. Yeah.
Now you want the oil with the stem cells in it.
Oh, I should try. God damn
you
it! I've got so much Mederma to get through.
Over the counter? Yeah. Like, is that a thing you can buy?
It's good stuff. It smells good too. You know how black people are always getting oiled up and they have that sheen to them all day long?
That's like cocoa butter, right?
No, I use cocoa butter on everything. That's what I keep my hands so smooth with. This is oil. And I'm going to get some more of it. I'm going through it. It's like biotin and stem cells, and it's like, it smells nice. It's got a nice manly scent.
Is it expensive as can be?
I don't remember. If I need my oil, I need my oil. All right, I'm not dickering over stem cell oil.
Yeah. Just ground up foreskins.
I hope so. God, probably. I would like that.
I want to cut weight for our trip. I don't know if I've gained any weight.
Come in dehydrated.
I hadn't gained weight 2 weeks ago, but last week There's a little cheating involved, a little snacking. Yeah, it peaked 2 days. I'm 24 hours clean on trail mix, boys. I'm like an
Nice.
ad. I'd get me a keychain.
I'm like I'm 6 pounds down
Nice.
this month. Since the beginning of May, I've been going very hard in the paint with it. No cheat days yet. And if I my girlfriend picked me up like a cheeseburger like last weekend, and I had to like squeeze that into my calorie limit. And so it was like, I can have a nice little cheat thing, but obviously no fries. Like instead of that, I'll have like carrot sticks or something.
Today will be cheeseburger and a grape day.
Yeah, cheeseburger and a grape day, basically. But yeah, it's the hardest part about it is other than like not eating it late at night, because that's when I want to do so much snacking. That's the most difficult self-control part, is like getting all the protein in, because like my lifts, like I'm pretty much, I was thinking like a retard. I'm like, I can still like make my lifts go up when I'm only eating 800 calories a day and lifting at least 5 times
is that
a week.
your real number?
Yeah. I've been like going real low at like 1800.
Okay.
Yeah, and
or
so
800
like
or 1800.
1800. Yeah.
Oh,
and,
you said 800 earlier.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm like,
1800. No, 800. I wouldn't. I'd be asleep on this desk.
You've got
right
the
now.
Auschwitz diet. I'm familiar with it.
It's easy to get you. Well, if you use that like isopure protein, it's 25 grams and 100 calories, and you only need 200 grams.
Yeah, but like,
so there you go. You get 200 calories of real food,
200 calories of real food, and all the rest
1,600 calories of protein powder. That is sustainable, healthy dieting.
It's just very healthy. That's what all of the fitness people tell you to do. They're like, when you cut, get all of your protein from sources like protein powders and bars.
I heard
no real meat. Yeah, they all do. But like, it is difficult to get it all in, because like I drink one shake a day, 230 calories, 51 grams of protein, and then I'll have like a protein bar that's 180 calories and 21 grams of protein in that. And so that gets me to like 72 grams. And then I have to eat. And since I'm cutting, I'm not trying to get to 200. Like I just want to hit like at least 170 every day. And so I'm having to eat quite a bit of like ground lean turkey and chicken breast that's not as flavorful as I would usually like it. You know, I'm putting lots of spices on it, but you know how it is. There's no transition for just throwing a fuck ton of butter in that pan and making it. You know, you can't emulate that without the butter or at least a bunch of oil. So yeah, but I'm still riding the high of like noticing in the mirror now, where I'm like, well, goddamn, you're starting to lose. You're starting to look just a slight bit better than you did. 18 days ago. So part of it, I will admit, is like, I do not want to show up to our meetup and just look terrible. That would be disappointing. If like, you know, so many people on like this kind of cam that we're on, like this level, will just have fat, horrible lower bodies. And I just like, I don't want to show up and just waddling towards you at the airport or whatever it is. So I got to make sure that I'm slimming up a bit.
Yeah, I think collarbone up is my best look. So it's gonna take some diet discipline.
Arguably my worst. Yeah. So
really, you think?
No, I was just meaning because not a lot of good happening in this range.
That's crazy.
But yeah, I'm really motivated with the fitness thing right now. My lifts are going down a bit. Like I was at 245 benching, and I'm like down to 235 now, and I just don't want to lose any more than that, because like without the energy and all the food, it's really fucking hard. Like
it could be
like when
just
I was
a bad day also, unless you know
like
more than me.
Yeah, it's been like a week of that, because like when I was kind of doing whatever I wanted, dirty bulking, like in April, like it was pretty easy for me to throw that weight around. Now, like every time I'm like getting under the bar, I'm like, yeah, go on. Can't back down from this weight. Don't let yourself regress anymore, and like that kind of stuff. But with all the lifts, so yeah, thank God for weightlifting. Like it really. I wish I'd started this years before I did. It's only been like 3 years, but it gets rid of so much of my stress. Like if I have a really rough day and I just like I feel like I can get energy out, it really helps. You don't seem to mirror that as much, Woody. What was that, Kyle?
Do you scream like Tony Soprano when you lift? Like
not as intense as him, but you know, I've definitely like done that, like struggling to put it up in my own basement, because I'm not embarrassed by myself. I don't want to feel like a bitch.
So was he, but Dr. Melfi's next door. She thinks they're torturing someone over at Tony's house.
And Tony had that like bench press machine where it was safer. So I watched that episode the other day where he and Chrissy were driving around and they just happened to see that bunch of people stealing wine, and they pull around and they like rob robbers. And then like the bikers are coming out and they're like, "We're with the Vipers." And then Tony's like, "You hear that? He's with the fucking Vipers. Oh my God, he's with the fucking Vipers." And they're like,
"What is that? Your Cub Scout group? Keep your fucking hands up."
You see that motherfucker's face? I'm with the Vipers. Yeah, he's driving around. That was funny. Yeah. Last night, like as I was ending my stream, like I purposefully the previous evening finished episode 12 of season 6 and was like, how on earth are they going to wrap this up in episode 13? I'm going to feel so not pleased with this because it just doesn't feel like it's set up enough. Then I realized season 6 apparently is twice as long as every other season. And so I'm up to season 6, episode 19. I got halfway through that one today. So I think I've got 4.5 more episodes until the end. And thank God The Wire's on the horizon because I'm going to dread it when this show's over. I've been enjoying it so much. Chrissy just died. That caught me by surprise. He was a character I did not expect to see die.
Yeah.
But after that car accident happened and Tony was getting out and Chrissy said like I'll never pass the drug test or whatever he said. And then he saw that branch like right where a baby's face would have been. I was like, oh no, Tony. Oh no, don't kill Chrissy. And then he kills him. So pretty cold-blooded from him.
Yeah,
he still hasn't told anybody that he killed Chrissy. I'm assuming he takes that to the grave with him, but we'll see.
Yeah, he ain't telling nobody about that. Yeah, Woody and I are already on The Wire. We await you.
Nice.
In Baltimore. So.
I'm almost done season 2, which took a little while to ramp up. You know, so what to tell about The Wire with it. So in The Wire, a bunch of detectives form like a special task unit in the first season to look at drug dealers. And then, this isn't a spoiler, in the second time, it takes a little while for all the boys to get back together. Yeah. And I guess that for me, that building stage I didn't like it as much.
Yeah, that's fair to say. Like when you finally form Voltron there,
yes,
it's like, yeah, we're getting the band. It's like that line from Blues Brothers. We're getting the band back together.
Mm-hmm.
And it's good when they do.
Something about the dock workers aren't as compelling to me as the drug dealers are.
It's a worse season. I don't like the dock workers either as much, even though I really like that actor who plays like the main.
Yes, the bald guy. I don't know the actor's name, but
he's got that voice. It's really gravelly.
Polish guy.
Polish guy. Yeah. Yeah, I like him. That douchebag son of his is annoying, but anyway, yeah, you've got that to look forward to. Great fucking show.
Speaking of douchebag sons, I just watched the scene where AJ tried to kill himself, and I was hoping so hard that it would work because I am fucking tired of his storyline. I don't give a shit about AJ. I thought he was going to be a little rambunctious fat kid from season 1, and that has not panned out at all. He hasn't been funny in 6 years.
Nope.
He's been annoying and shitty. At least Meadow is kind of, doing her own thing out in California and bouncing around or whatever. But AJ sucks.
I thought AJ was going to transform into a badass like his dad. I thought AJ was going to like sort of go towards the family and just be tough and fearless and cruel.
Mm-hmm.
He's just no, that didn't happen, right? Like he never gets good.
He's a follower. He's like hanging out with those like nickel and dime operation kids pouring acid on people's toes for $60 or whatever it is. But yeah, his storyline is so uninteresting. Yeah.
Yeah, I've also been watching Better Call Saul season 5, the new season that just came out this year. Fuck, it's good. I finished it. It was excellent. I finished the last episode of season 5 and I was like, but I want more. How do I get more? It was so fucking good. Lots of shit. I need a big
season 4 recap. It's been so long.
I think I saw 4. I might be. I feel like I quit on Better Call Saul around 2 or 3, and I think a lot of people did. But I'm told that it got better. It had a rare sort of boost. Usually, this bell curve in quality of these shows, and it had a second bump on the bell curve.
Well, it was excellent. I really, really fucking liked it. There was a couple of there was one particular really big action scene, like a big gunfight, and you know, I'm not gonna spoil anything. Excellent season.
Action scene,
It was
interesting.
$20. It was like $20 to buy the whole season in HD, so I did that, and I fucking blazed through that whole season, maybe in 2 days or something like that. It was really fucking good.
Oh, I thought it was free on like Netflix or something.
No, it
No?
just came out, season 5.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's
Well,
this
that's something
year's.
else that's good to watch.
Yeah, and then I watched the new Rick and Morty yesterday.
Oh, the third
actually.
one?
Yeah, I thought this one was a big step up from the first two. The
Okay.
Vat of Acid episode, I liked it a lot.
I haven't seen it. Yeah.
It hits dark. It's a little dark. You know, it's got
That's
one of those
good.
reveals where Rick is like, "Oh yeah, you thought it was like this? Well, it's like that, and that is horrific. The things that I've done. You pushed me to do this, and I did it. Now admit it. And Moore's just like, "Oh my God, why would you do that? You didn't have to." He's like, "I did it because I wanted to do it because that's what I do." He's like, "Fuck."
I want to see it. Yeah, I did. I like it when that stuff happens.
Have you watched Solar Opposites yet?
Is it
I don't
out?
wanna-
When
It's on Hulu. I mean, Hulu's promoting the shit out of it. on
right,
their-
but is
on
it
their
out?
homepage.
Because I tried to watch it. I forget when, a week or two ago, and it wasn't actually released yet.
It's out now. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he keeps trying to get me to watch season 1. It looks so similar in art style to Rick and Morty that it's like you know how Family Guy and American Dad have
Mhm.
similar art styles, but it's not exact. Like the characters don't have the
Okay.
exact same style. This is exactly the same. Rick and Morty and Solar Opposites looks like it could be the same show. Like scene to scene, you wouldn't notice any
They
artistic.
should do some crossover episodes.
I'm sure they will. Yeah.
Yeah.
It just seems interesting that
I think Dan
that
Harmon
guy.
has connected all of his universes together in little ways throughout the years.
It'd be fun if they did
Mm.
crossover episodes with art that doesn't match, and just Bart Simpson walks around for some unknown reason.
Yeah.
Scooby-Doo.
You know, I don't think Fox is going to let him do that. Yeah.
No, they
no,
will.
probably
They,
not.
they did it with Family Guy. Did it?
Yeah,
They-
well,
they-
they had that crossover where we were watching that recently, my girlfriend and I, where they were joking around and you know Bart goes like, "Eat my shorts," and then Stewie goes, "Oh, he has something like me, like what the deuce? It's popular like what the deuce." And Brian's like, "Yeah, his is probably more popular, probably way more popular." Yeah.
I liked when they crossed over with South Park and Cartman's like, "What did you do that was what's the worst thing you ever did?" And Bart's
Yeah.
like, "I cut the head off a statue." And it's like, "Oh yeah, that's
That's pretty cool, man. One time I got mad at a kid, and so I killed his pants, and I made him into chili, and I fed it to him.
Yeah.
That's pretty fucked up, dude.
Scott
Yeah,
Tenorman must die.
That's a great, yeah. Season 5, episode something. Yes,
It's,
that's like
it's-
the heart of the goodness of South Park. Just the off the wall, bananas, crazy, silly stuff. I love that.
That's one of my favorite episodes for sure. It's like top 3. The other one I really like is when they all buy those ninja weapons at the fair or whatever.
Yeah,
And they like turn and look in it, something you can afford. Ninja Shuriken, $1.99.
yeah.
They all,
yeah,
like,
first
turn
they're buying all the weapons, and Kenny's like, "Look what even the photo do." And then he's like,
Yeah, man, you can buy these shurikens.
and then he
$1.99.
heaves it at Butters, and they
Yeah,
take him to a vet.
"Sing!"
Yeah.
and then it like breaks away from the Japanese animation style, and Butters just got a fucking shuriken embedded in his goddamn eye, and he's crying.
Butters, shut up. They take him to, what do they do? They glue dog hair to him. They're like, "All right, Butters, give us your best dog." And he's sitting there with the shirk, and he's like going, "Woof, woof." And
You gotta do
drop
better
him
than
off.
that.
And they take him to or like he finds his way to a hospital, and he's still got like ears glued to him. The doctor's like, "Oh, unfortunately for this little pup, I'm a person doctor." And they just send him to a pound. Oh man, that's a really good one. Fun Times with Weapons, name of that episode, season 8.
Damn,
Really good one.
Taylor.
Yeah. Oh man,
Oh.
the amount of time I've wasted watching South Park.
Good
Sorry,
job.
go ahead.
Pandemic stuff. So George Foreman's mom, right? Freya's mom, she's been working from home due to the whole like North Carolina shutdown or whatever, and her company's going to make it permanent. I heard this, like, I guess she told Jackie told me, so I could get it wrong in this game of telephone, but it sounds like working from home will be an option for her forever.
That's great.
I wonder if that will be more popular. Like in my
No more
head,
George
I could be
Foreman for
wrong.
you.
I think they extrapolated this whole thing to like they're getting rid of this office space. Like that's how I interpreted it. That they're like, is commercial real estate going to be long term impacted by COVID?
Oh yeah, yeah, they will.
You think yes?
Yeah, definitely. Like, I mean, Twitter did it. I think we may have mentioned that on the show.
Right.
Twitter has thousands of employees, and they're like, yeah, you can all just work from home because everything's going exactly the same. We're going to save money on overhead.
Apple just invested like $1 billion or something in that commercial real estate. Do you know what I'm talking about? It looks like a
new
spaceship,
campus or
I think. Yeah, like they did a really big thing, some giant artistic building that they put together that it's like a lot of Silicon Valley companies.
Silicon Valley's a much more fun place.
They tend to like buy 5 buildings here and 5 buildings there and 5 buildings there, and they have all the like the campuses aren't linked and really planned like say Microsoft's is. So Apple cured that by making one mega campus, and now it almost seems like that's not the way to do it.
Yeah, they were out over their skis a little bit. Doesn't seem like a good idea.
Yeah, I wonder if you'll have. Did you have a work from home option months ago? Not really.
Not really. No, it was more just like if there's a meeting that I have to get to, like I have to get there. I can't just call in.
Okay.
So hopefully that's changing.
Yeah, there may be a permanent work from home option available.
That'd be great. That'd be wonderful for my streaming career.
It would be. And like streaming career, but more than that, like lifestyle and stuff. Like I think part of the reason that I see people walking their dogs and their kids and stuff all the time is because they're not commuting anymore. Like they've gotten a little bit of their day back, combined with longer days, and people are just like getting outside a little more.
I finished my workout during a call today, and I just muted myself because I got to a point during it where I was like, well, I've had all the input that was necessary for me. I need to stay on the call though, so it doesn't look like I'm leaving. Mute, and so I'm just listening and then just get back to working out in my basement. It's great.
So Taylor, here's my advice. You could do working from home is something Cisco always had. If they do call your name and you weren't listening, say, sorry, can you repeat that? I was on mute. It works 100% of the time. Now, mute doesn't actually stop you from being able to hear things. No one ever questioned it. 13 years I used that shit. It worked 100% of the time. I couldn't hear you. I was on mute. They're just like, oh, okay, I'll repeat then. No one ever says, well, wait, you can still hear a mute.
Well, what's funny is like sometimes it'll become abundantly clear that someone's just not there anymore because like they didn't turn their face cam on, and it'll just be someone asking like, so Alan, did you get those TPS reports completed and shoot those over to Samantha? Alan? All right, we'll just reconnect with him later. Anyway, and it's like some guy, and it doesn't matter. Like nobody's coming after him.
Alan's got some bigger problems than TPS reports now.
You'd think there'd
be
more.
Getting a little call from Greg.
It seems like you'd get more consequences for that, but there never seem to be. Never in all this time. Like people just totally not paying attention to meetings. It never.
Oh, there are people who like don't need to be in meetings and are for some reason on the Zoom call or whatever, and it'll be like. You know what that's like where you're in minute 56 of an hour-long planned thing, and it's like people are like, all right, I've got a hard out at 1. I have another thing I have to get to. And someone who hasn't said anything the whole time at like, 3:57 will be like, you know what? Just wanted to say I think we're doing a great job and everybody's doing good, and I'm just so happy for the progress we're making. All good jobs all around. And it's like, bitch, you just realized you didn't say anything the whole call, and now you're trying to sneak a couple lines in. I know what you're doing.
So Cisco had this video or audio conferencing software, and when you dialed into the meeting, it would say to say your name, and then it would say, Taylor joining the meeting, and they usually gave your first and last name, but I'm not here to do that. So at first, I would just do that, Woody joining the meeting. After a while, I realized I had to be silent when I joined the meeting because when you leave the meeting, it says WoodysGamertag leaving the meeting. Now I ditch, and it just like beep. Who was that? Who's gone? It's hard to tell who's missing. It's a big mystery to me. I don't know. Someone just ducked out early on this meeting at 1:37 when they weren't supposed to leave yet, but they didn't give their name, so they got away with it.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So, lots of funny little things you'll note. There was This happened just a couple weeks ago where I was on the call with like 6-7 people from a company, and I was like, all right, well, as soon as this wraps, Rich, just stay on for a minute. I need to ask you a couple things. And, call ends. This person leaves. And there's just some fucking lady just hanging out, trying to talk. And I'm like, hey, Samantha, if Rich and I could just talk for a minute. She's like, oh, no, it's fine. Well, no, it's not. You're a third party, and he's working with the company. It's not at all. Like, can you go? And then eventually, it's like some people just don't fucking get it. They don't get it, and it's a certain age bracket. It's a little boomery,
right. What'd you say her name was? Because it should have been Karen. It seems.
Yeah, it should have been Karen. But yeah, that's but all those are tiny little inconveniences, not even worth bringing up unless you're joking around about it. Like, it's so much more convenient to just pop on a call. Commute time alone. I've filled up my car with gas once in the last 10 weeks.
It saves actual money.
Yeah, this is real money at some point. I'm not going out to eat. That's real money I'm saving. Yeah.
Although you're using extra utilities though.
That's true, but like,
you think?
Not that much, I wouldn't think. I haven't looked at my bills though. I have my
unless you do your air conditioning different. That might make a difference.
I do. It's cold.
See, yeah. Like there's some people, like if both of you work, I could see you making the AC go to like 79 while you're at work and then dropping down. We feel like can't do that now.
Yeah, I keep mine at
That's too hot for my walls. I wouldn't even do that to them.
I keep it at like 69.
Yeah.
I feel like those numbers aren't transferable. Am I crazy? Like, if I go to your house and set it to 69 and then go to my house and set it to 69, do you think they're both equally calibrated? Do you think that both of them, for example, like, is the thermostat in such a good place that it adequately represents the other rooms it's in charge of? Like, you may have a warm hallway, so you set it to 74, and then all the bedrooms are 69, like you like it. Like, I don't think you can just compare those numbers across houses and zones.
Probably not. I mean, I have a ranch style house, so I've got one zone, and so it does a pretty uniform job of it. But yeah, sometimes, like Kyle said, I like turning it down to just so chilly before I go to bed because I like that. I like feeling like I'm beating the cold.
My living room has really high ceilings, and that's where I usually am. And and I have there's just a gigantic vent above where I sit on the couch, and I set that shit to 69 or 70, and I can just feel the air just. And then in my bedroom, it's like perfectly positioned so that where my head is on the pillow, if I look straight up, I can see the vent that's just blowing air straight down on me. It's great. I love being chilly.
Sounds cozy.
For sleeping,
vibes.
I do too. Yeah. So I, of course, live in a household, and I never fuss about other people changing the thermostat, right? If you turn it down because you were hot or you turn it up because you were cold, knock yourself out. It's on a schedule. So this is really like a 2-hour change you're making, and it's not worth having any kind of fight over. Cool. The one thing that I will go to the mats over is fucking, if you do this, meet me in the octagon. If one zone is on heat and then the adjacent one is on air conditioning, and you have them set to fight, oh, that is not okay. Yes,
that would make me so upset.
Yeah.
You understand why dads get mad about that now, where it's just like, you're just fucking pouring money into the toilet right now. Stop it.
Oh yeah, we don't have a pool heater, and I was talking to my mom about it. I was like, man, I can't wait. We've gone swimming since, but yeah, I can't wait for it to get hot out because the pool's all clear and ready to go, but we haven't gone swimming yet. And she's like, if you got a pool heater, you'd extend your season a month or two. You'd probably be in the water right now. It's like, we have a track record of forgetting pool stuff. As I said that, there was a robot in the pool doing its thing. No, I know. I was putting water in the pool. It was a few inches low, putting water in the pool. Sometime at like 4 a.m. at the end of my live stream, I'm like, no, I'm still fuck. I go outside, pool, it's coming out the overflow, all the salt and the cyanide or whatever the fuck you put in a pool. He's draining out, and I was like, God, this is why I don't have a heater. I know for sure 4 days later, I'd be like, oh, fuck. I just spent $700 on pool heat.
The world's largest hot tub.
Right.
Just bubbling in there.
Maybe you could put it on a timer or something. But yeah, It's a problem. We fuck up the pool all the time. So yeah, just leaving the robot running, leaving the water running. It's
Yeah,
easy
it seems like
mistakes
it'd be
to make.
more most economical just to have it always like keeping the water at whatever temperature you want it to be at. It seems like that would be more economical than heating it up
I've
and
heard
then
that
letting
too.
letting that large volume fall down to natural temperatures and then heating it up and like bouncing up all the way up and down. The same way it's more economical to do that with your household. There's a specific temperature that's the most economical temperature. I think it's around 74 degrees, 75 degrees, something like that.
Hmm. You might be right. I don't know. And I guess it depends what you're comparing it to, right? If you only run the heater like 3 days in May, it's surely more expensive to keep it nice all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're running the heater like 14 days in May, it's probably cheaper to run it all 30. Like I'm just making that up, but like that makes sense
Yeah,
to me.
I don't know. It just seems like it would take a ton of energy to go from whatever ambient temperature is to whatever comfortable is, but not nearly as much to maintain.
Right. But if you do that once, it's probably less expensive than maintaining 30 times, right? So
Yeah,
there's a balance
sure.
in there somewhere. But anyway, none of them are as cheap as not having a pool heater.
Sure.
That's where we are right now.
Speaking of little annoying expenses, I
Hmm.
woke up this morning and took my dogs out to find that a tree in like the woods. So I've got a fence in my backyard, or around my backyard, and then like there's a woods behind that. And one of like this tree that I guess had been dying, like probably that big around, decently, medium-sized tree, fell and broke one of the posts out of my fucking fence. And so I'm gonna have to figure out how to fix that. And just debris all over my fucking yard. I got to take care of that. I ordered a chainsaw off Amazon because I don't have one, and I'm gonna have to dice it up. And I need one anyway because this is not going to be the last time it happens. I have so many trees around my house.
What
do you
chainsaw
shake
did
your
you get?
Yeah, you just call a guy and he comes and does everything for you and hauls it off.
Yeah, but I don't need it hauled off. I live near the woods. I could just chop it up, get it off my fence, and throw it back in the woods.
How big of a tree are we talking?
Well, when it if here's the fence, when it fell, like a bunch of sections broke off into my yard, and it's probably at this point like 9 feet tall, still leaning on my fence. So I'll have to go back around my fence into the woods and then chop it up. And
I support
no
the
reason to
chainsaw
close it.
purchase. I think it's something a homeowner needs. I bought a chainsaw like 18 years ago, and I probably use it every 2 years.
Yeah, see, I figured it's going to be a good thing to have around because, with all the trees I have around me, it's only a matter of time till it happens again. So
And it doubles as a weapon.
that's true. That's
In
true.
video games.
Yeah.
In real life.
It
You ever-
passes the Woody test of being easier to hold on to than to pull away from you.
Good God.
Right?
It is
God,
very
yes.
hard to steal a chainsaw from someone who doesn't want it taken.
Yeah, you got a real problem.
What are you going to do? Come from over there? There's a chainsaw. Come over here.
Yeah.
Top, bottom, to the side to side.
Like a
Yeah,
golf
it's- I
club
just got a
fails
little
that
one.
test. I feel like I could grab the head of it and I've got a better grip than you do.
Yeah.
Or you
Yeah,
just snap that fucking thing in two. Those things are flimsy.
Right? I always thought I was wrong about. I'm not a golfer, so I don't spend much time handling clubs. But it always seemed like if you hit a golf club on the shaft on my shoulder, it'd break the golf club, not me.
The aluminum ones or the metal ones, whatever they're made out of, absolutely would. And I think you'd still be in fighting shape. Those carbon fiber ones or graphite or whatever they're made out of, they don't shatter as well. Like,
Really?
I've hit stuff with both.
Huh.
They flex.
Okay. Yeah, I would have thought they broke, but I guess not.
Never really played any golf, but we used to go to the driving range a ton.
Yeah, I've been before. Not a ton though. I'm terrible. To look at
I can-
someone golf, you would think I can do that, right? Like it doesn't look like a difficult task. But when I did it, one, I didn't always make great contact with the ball. Maybe I hit too hard or tried too hard. Another, my stroke, I don't know what it's called, but you should have almost a vertical stroke or maybe a little off axis. Mine was too flat. So my finish was kind of off too low instead of up here where it's supposed to be.
Mhm.
And it sounds easy to fix, but it turns out that stuff is a little hard to dial in.
Yeah, it's
golf is hard as shit.
infamously difficult. I always just
Very
like going to the range and just hitting the ball as hard as I fucking could and seeing who could hit it the farthest.
That's the easiest thing. Yeah. I haven't been. Do you guys have Top Golfs near you?
I don't know.
Is that one of those indoor things with the screen?
It's it's like a tiered leveled thing.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
outside, and it's like hundreds and hundreds of yards, and then a giant, rope enclosure. And like it's also like a bar and restaurant. I haven't been yet, but it looks like a ton of fun to just go there, get drunk, and hit golf balls as hard as you can.
When I was going to the driving
Good
range,
idea.
I was athletic, right? I was pretty athletic. I was like 26 years old. And, like you would look at me and think this is an athletic guy. Cool. And I'm there and I'm hitting and it's not going particularly well. And then these 66-year-olds roll up and oh my God, just crushing it. And it went straight all the time. It's like, what the fuck? Like, they're beating me in golf, but I don't think like any other sport would they be beating me like this. Maybe shuffleboard. I don't know.
I was about to say, you think so, punk? Come on back to the shuffleboard lane.
Right?
Push your shit in.
It's
Shit.
it's kind of neat to have a sport that exists that you don't age out of. Probably most people listening to this are so young that's not on their radar. But you don't really age out of golf. It seems like you can still be competent at it at 70.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I would say so. I don't know.
Well, they have
never
a full seniors tour. Yeah.
I just like knocking the shit out of the ball. That was always fun. We just go to the pawn shop, buy a few drivers, a few irons, and go just hit the ball.
I think I had a rental. I think that's how I did it.
Yeah. They're cheap as fuck used because so many people are like, oh, that Tiger Woods fellow. If he can do it, I can do it. And then they're like, shit, this is hard.
I never thought that.
I've never looked.
Well,
at
you're not
Tiger
racist enough to have those thoughts.
I'll step up my game. Have you guys, I guess Trump is taking daily hydroxychloroquine. How close did I come to that?
Yeah, I think he nailed it.
Really?
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah.
Everyone loves this, right? Like the conservatives are in love with the idea that he's doing it because it proves that he was right and it's a valuable drug and etc. And the Democrats are in love with the idea that he's doing it because it's dangerous and it's going to kill him. And all America is united around this. And I thought it was hilarious.
Is it I don't know shit about it. Is that supposed to help?
So here's the background.
Like testing it as a helpful thing.
It's become a bit of a partisan issue. Like the facts around this drugs are partisan, whereas facts are not supposed to be partisan. One side would Trump. It's an anti-malaria drug, and I guess malaria is kind of flu-like. And initially, they thought it would help with COVID-19, and then studies came out and said it didn't help. But it's so new, it's hard to have any long-term accurate studies on it. So let's consider the science undecided, right? To try to be unbiased. It has some negative downsides having to do with like heart conditions, and it can be dangerous in that regard. So the blue team is all like focusing on its downsides because Trump is for it, therefore the blue team is against it. The red team maintains this is a 40-year-old drug. They use it for lupus. I read arthritis. I don't know if that's true. And it's definitely a malaria drug. That's like its original thing. Now, like you hear 40-year-old drug. Some guys are like, this is a proven outstanding drug. And then if you're on the blue team, you're like, oh yeah, with medicine, the older the better. Like, like it.
Is this supposed to be preventative? Is that
he
what he's
thinks
saying?
that, so they say that if you're on this and you get COVID-19, then your symptoms will be lighter. That's the thought process behind it.
Hopefully they figure out a way to make it work.
Yeah, so the CDC is against using it. They came out and they said, look, we tested it. It's not a good idea. But I don't know. Let's just agree that the science is unsettled, that it takes more than 2 months to figure things out.
Yeah.
CD who? I think Donald Trump knows what he's doing.
The World Health Organization has changed their tune so many times throughout this. They were the
They
ones
can't even decide on what part of the egg to eat. Meanwhile, Donald Trump has a nuclear arsenal at his command.
These things
He's taking hydroxychloroquine.
all
right? And last time I checked, he was as healthy as a very, very large horse.
So I wouldn't doubt that he isn't even on that, and he's saying it as a way to try and sate people.
I tweeted that.
would be my guess.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought I put a different spin on it. Maybe it's my bias that he's still pimping the hydroxychloroquine. I messed it up. That he's still pimping this anti-malaria drug because it would make him right all along, and that's his motivation. But
Sure. I mean,
yeah,
he'll,
maybe I don't know.
he's always got something going on. He's trading barbs with Obama right now. So it's
Nancy Pelosi said that she hopes he's not on this because it's bad for your heart and he's morbidly obese. And everyone's morbidly obese starts trending on Twitter. Then CNN did a fact check on whether he's morbidly obese or not.
Oh my
And,
God.
He
Who
is.
cares?
dude,
He's fat.
it's for my entertainment. It's for my entertainment. And so I looked. I read the whole thing. CNN was actually almost conservative biased in this. They're like, one, morbidly obese is not a thing. I forget if it's CDC or WHO or whatever, but that's not a clinical term. There's obese and there's 3 stages of obese, but let's just agree that the 3rd stage is the one that you might call morbidly obese, but it's not like,
morbidly obese wasn't PC enough, so it's been changed to something else.
So
Advanced huskiness.
So then they decided whether his BMI fits in the stage 3 obesity. And they used the official White House height and weight of 243 and 6'3" and said that he's not. He's obese, but not morbidly obese. And that was there. And I was like,
think obesity is like a 29 BMI, right?
So it says underweight would be what? That can't be right.
I question both the
16.5 and 24.9. Overweight 25 to 29.9 BMI. 30 or higher is obese. 40 or higher is class 3 obese, which is extreme, severe, or morbid obesity.
I think both the 6'3" and the 243-pound numbers are untrue.
Yeah, I agree.
0% chance he weighs 243.
Or is 6'3"? Oh, right, he's 6'4".
If he's
towering
6'3",
individual.
If he's 6'3", then my guess for his weight would be like 290.
Whew.
I'm not good at guessing once you get past like 220 or so.
He's very heavy. And if he's 6'3", that's a lot of frame for that weight to be hanging out. You know.
I also need to see him in person. Right? It's hard to tell on TV. Like I thought. Do you know who Steve Kerr is? He's the coach for the Golden State Warriors, and I always thought he was a relatively short white guy. Like that was my impression of him. And then I saw that he's actually like 6'1", 6'2", really athletic, and I'm like, right. Because he's surrounded by towering giants all the time. This guy hit like the game-winning shot for the Bulls in one of their championships. Why did I think he was short? He's a professional NBA player. He just stands next to Duncan not Duncan.
Says he's 6'3".
Durant, I meant to say. He's 6'3", Steve Kerr? Yeah. But when he stands next to 7-footers all day, he looks tiny.
I've only seen Trump in person the one time.
Oh, right.
And he was strategically standing and sitting next to Chris Christie. Man looked slim. All right. Is that Michael Phelps or is that Donald Trump? That's a super athlete we're looking at, folks. Look at the way he's able to walk and breathe without a great deal of effort. It's incredible.
That's someone I bet is not doing well in quarantine. Chris Christie.
He's on
burying
TV
his head
now.
in ice cream.
He's getting attention. So maybe you remember Bridgegate.
Oh, yeah.
Fort Lee, New Jersey is a town that didn't necessarily support his reelection. And when he won reelection, he changed the toll booth so that Fort Lee wasn't served by very many tolls, and they had huge traffic backups. That's Bridgegate in a nutshell. And once Chris Christie found out about it, he was not pleased, which is the bullshit line. The truth is he was very much in the midst of deciding to punish this town. And the guy who went to jail is now out of jail. And he's ratting on Chris Christie. Yeah. He's like, he knew all along. He was in the thick of it. What was that?
Like movies. I was hoping it would be like a crazy revenge, like movie style thing where he leaves cryptic notes in Chris Christie's fridge because that's where he'll find
Chris Christie is like a Sopranos character. He would fit right in with that cast. Like if he sat down during that meeting with Trump and just started talking about Gabagool and fucking Uncle Uncle Junior, you buy it.
He would be the fattest one, though.
Look,
right? Even though there's some real fatties on The Sopranos, Chris Christie would win.
This motherfucker's fatter than Ginny Sack.
I think he is.
Sack's only 250, but the what's his name? The gay one,
Pussy.
Vito
in the early years is unrecognizably big. Here's an interesting factoid now that you're almost done with the show. Bobby Baclieri, not an overweight man at no point in the series. He is wearing an enormous belly piece.
Really?
Yeah.
Because he does look just tremendously fat. I
Yeah.
didn't pick that up.
Because he's wearing like a person under his shirt, like that's strapped on.
He's become one of my favorite characters, which means he's gonna die in the last few episodes. So he seems like a genuinely good guy.
Can
Yeah.
you say his last name again? I'm trying to get a picture.
Pagliari.
Oh, that's not helping me
Did
spell
you
it.
put in just Bobby Bacala? Bacala. He shows up.
Bacli.
Bacala, yeah. I had no idea. I'm gonna see if I can notice.
What? He's not a fat person?
He's probably overweight, but he's not like that. Like, cause he's got the fat face.
Right?
Yeah, huh?
He does
That's so
have a...
surprising. There's no way. There's no fucking way.
How can he not be a heavy person? I'm going to look up the actor.
You can't tell because all these Italians are wearing the biggest clothes in America half the time, the size of these t-shirts.
Well, it has been 13 years since he was, the character, so he may have gained some weight in the interim. But
I want Bobby to survive. He won't, though. I have a feeling. And I want AJ to die. He will. I have a feeling. Or he won't die. I'm sorry.
Kyle, are you mistaken? Like, because
No.
I'm looking at him at like a backstage thing. He didn't wear that costume all the time, right?
sure, yeah. His wife hated it.
Okay. I think you're pulling our leg.
I'm not pulling your leg. I've seen interviews with him,
Steve
talking
Sharippa
about.
wore a fat suit in The Sopranos.
There you go.
In the first 2 seasons of the hit crime series. Oh, I guess he packed on some pounds for seasons 3, 4, 5, and 6, so he didn't have to wear.
Well,
it
he's
anymore.
enormously fat in the first couple seasons. Like there's a part where he's getting out of his car to talk to Tony after Uncle Junior has kind of been pushed out of the picture, and he can barely get out of the car. Tony's watching him, and like they make a point to like pause on his struggle to exit a fucking Cadillac sedan.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, that was good. Man, it's gonna suck when this show's over. This is gonna be a show I'm gonna rewatch. Definitely. See if I catch anything new.
I think
You
you'll
will.
like The Wire. I want to get to season 3 of it and give you a fresher status report on how I feel.
Yeah,
Yeah, well,
it's
as soon
got
as
it's got a couple of people you'll recognize. Obviously, Idris Elba and Woody might not know this. Michael B. Jordan.
Who's that?
You don't know who Michael B. Jordan is, the actor?
What else has he played?
I saw him.
Well, he was
I
Creed.
Oh.
haven't seen that.
Very talented black actor.
Oh,
Anyway,
yeah. He's a detective, right?
no, he's a child.
Oh,
He's,
shit. Which one is he?
Fuck. They've all got stupid names like Bebo and Stinkum and
Right,
Welch.
right. Anyway, at the end of season 1, I think I'm going to say this in a non-spoiler way. The resolution isn't what I expected or hoped for. And it's just like, damn. So you're telling me life's not fair? Like it hits hard.
He's
I'll
the
stop
kid
there.
who has all those other kids under his wing in that abandoned house. He's got like the faintest of mustaches.
Oh my, yeah.
Yeah. I was
Yeah.
watching it last night and I was like, is that Michael B. Jordan? I was like, it can't be. That guy's a grown ass man. I was like, wait a minute, this is
Wow.
2002 I'm watching right now.
The actor does a very good job. He
I was
plays a
also
very
a child in
compelling character.
2002.
Yeah, that. Hell, 2002, I was immature. I got that.
I was childish. I mean,
Yeah, Michael B. Jordan is 33, so he was similar in age to you.
yeah, you're younger. Anyway, great show. I look forward to you hopping on that train and us discussing that a little bit.
Yeah,
Definitely.
me too.
Enjoying
So
We
Kyle,
got a cool guest this week. I'm not going to spoil it. Excited though.
the eye, Kyle.
Mhm.
Painful now? Completely worn
Um,
off meds? What do we got?
It's real swollen. It looks like I got punched in the eye pretty badly. I think there's a lot of like capillaries popped in there, and it's
The
it's
eye
like the upper
itself?
part of it.
Capillaries?
Maybe I'm using the wrong word. No, I'm in the eyelid. Like
Okay.
it just seems like there's a lot of black purplishness on the entire eyelid. And it's very swollen. Like my eye's never been swollen before. It doesn't hurt. It is a little like scratchy, like when I look around. But I got a really good. I had to take the bandage off. I don't know if I showed you a picture of the bandage they had on there, but it was like huge bandage that covered half my face, and that looked absurd. And I was sitting on my couch and I was like, I got to know if he did a good job or not. I got to see what this guy did. And so I pulled it off and looked. Amazing job. These guys are fucking professionals apparently at cutting things.
They're plastic surgeons. Like
it turns out plastic surgery and dermatology are two of the hardest doctors to be. Those aren't the ones I would have guessed. Like plastics maybe, but
they make a lot of money.
To me, dermatologists, I know they work with cancer, but like it's a 90% pimple job. I would have thought that it was next to podiatrist, but apparently it's not. Apparently it's near the top of the heap.
Yeah, the part he didn't. I can tell that he didn't go very deep, but he got it all. And it looks like he didn't destroy any of the margins.
It sounds
like he didn't get any more than he needed.
Sounds like he was fast too.
So fast, like 60 seconds.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm super happy with what he did. I hope it heals up pretty soon. I've got lots of antibiotic ointment and antibiotic pills, so hopefully I don't get a goddamn eye infection and go blind.
Nah, you'll be fine. Yeah, you'll be good.
I might get myself an eye patch for the show. That'd be cool.
That is very cool. I need you to do that now.
I think that we should do that too, Taylor.
Can we all have
a solidarity move? Like if he
I'm just gonna show up with two and take a nap. I'll be like, oh, sorry. Could you repeat that? I was on mute.
I know your games. All right. Well, that was a good show, I thought. PKN 300.